This is a YouTube video. Welcome. You're here. I actually recorded this whole video yesterday, and now half of it is gone. Ignore the lights, alright? Ignore them. Pretend they're not the cheap Amazon lights. They actually look really nice. So, a few videos ago, I became a cold alpha male. Alright, I'm sure you all remember that. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's a great video. Today, I've decided that as a brand new cold alpha male, I should watch some new alpha content. That was a mistake. It was a mistake, I'll tell you that much. The alpha content in question is a channel that I've known about for a very long time. Unfortunately, I used to be a fan of this channel. It's called Think Before You Sleep. Speaking of sleep, Jesus, why do I feel so tired all of a sudden? Now, at the time of recording this, the video that I'm going to talk about first was made probably about a month ago. Now you might think, why the hell are you reacting to a video that's a month old? And I would say, well, because the video that Think Before You Sleep reacted to originally is 4 years old. This isn't actually unusual for the Think Before You Sleep channel. He tends to just try and find really old content that backs up his narrative instead of finding new content that does the same thing, because there's not really that much of it. It's a little something we like to call cherry picking, where we pick up cherries. That's what that is. Another thing that isn't totally unusual for this channel is a complete disregard for reality, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. Now, to be totally honest, I don't really want to say think before you sleep every single time, so we're gonna make up a name. We're gonna call this guy Dylan. We're gonna call him Dylan from now on. To be clear, I don't know his real name. It's not public information. If that is his real name, lucky guess, man. Also, yes, I did get a haircut. You can see it. You can see it there. Whoa. So, Philip was it? I can't remember. Hold on. Who was it that? Let me see. Screenshot. Philip Jacobs. Never trust a man with two first names. Now cut your hair and start going to the gym instead of being beta. Well, step one complete. We're still working on step two. Sorry. So a little bit of information before we start. This channel is basically your classic incel, red pill, right-wing, woman-hating echo chamber that was mostly popular around 2016. I'm sure you're well aware of the kind I'm talking about. It also sounds a little bit like Nile Red, but like incel Nile Red. Most of his videos are just 20 minutes of him shitting on feminists because that's the red pill thing to do. To be clear, red pill bad. We don't like it. We don't like the red pill here. Being red pilled is basically a way of just clinging onto like delusions about women in order to make you more comfortable in your inability to live a happy life. Oh man, I'm doing such a good job reading this script. Some of the essential ideas of red pill creators are that most women just want attention from men. Most women are the root of all their problems, and men need to start standing up against modern feminism. Some of the essential ideas in red pill content on YouTube is that most women just want attention from men, women are the root of all of men's problems, and modern men need to start standing up against modern feminism. This, of course, is a ridiculous way of thinking. Ironic for a channel called Think Before You Sleep, he doesn't seem to do much actual thinking. That, oh man, oh yeah. That was quite the knee slapper. Dylan seems to have a habit of just repeating pretty much every talking point you would expect to see on sites like 4chan, which is silly. For the record, don't repeat anything you see on 4chan. Please stay away from 4chan. So the first video that we're gonna check out today is a 20-minute long video of Dylan basically just denying the fact that racism exists. Very, very funny moment. Within the first 30 seconds of this video, he's already complaining about racism.
I want to know bank balances. I want to know personal stories.
Negatives?
300.
Personal stories. So I'm black in America, so shit sucks. That's why I deserve $1,000.
Okay, that sounds really demeaning to black people, suggesting that all black people in America have crappy lives. Maybe not everyone in that group has that experience. It seems a little prejudiced to me to say something like that.
What Dylan fails to recognize here is that around 21% of black Americans are currently living below the poverty threshold. For anyone that isn't particularly good with English, that means they're poor. At the moment, we estimate that they have around 10 cents for every dollar that a white family has, which probably not good. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to deny that white people can also live in poverty. That's absolutely not what I'm trying to do here. But if you simply look at the statistics, it's impossible to say that white people need the money just as much.
Hold on. Then the rest of the three of us get to decide who takes $1,000.
Love that.
Wow, that went to full-on racism really quickly. I mean, we're only a minute and a half into a 20-minute video, and that's all it took for her to look at someone's skin color, know nothing about their situation, and say they owe her something.
Okay, so Dylan is starting to get annoyed. He immediately calls out Hodan for racism. Clearly, this was meant as a joke. Maybe it didn't land particularly well, I don't know. I'm not one to judge comedy, you know? Even if the joke didn't land very well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's racism. Very soon after, one of the guys on the show suggests to just donate the money.
What if we donate the money?
I know who needs to go because you said to charity, so.
He's number one.
I think you gotta go. Like, I'm sorry.
It seems like Joe, the guy in back, gave a selfless and moral suggestion while at the same time being a part of a group that Hodan, the Islamic girl, deemed as evil.
Sure, this could also just be a joke, but if he is suggesting that seriously, it would be a clear example that he doesn't actually need the money as badly as the other contestants.
In this show, a group of people have to decide which one of them gets $1,000. The game is played in several rounds, and they can pretty much decide who gets the money however they want, as long as when it gets to the last round, the final three unanimously vote for who gets it. Cut does this segment a lot. While most of them are kind of just innocuous and uneventful, this episode really shows how cruel and selfish some of the racial divide and conquer tactics have made people.
Bro, that just doesn't make sense. He's making up words to fit his own narrative. Racial divide and conquer tactics. It's probably something this dude found on Reddit. Also, everyone on this show is selfish. That's kind of the whole point. Blaming that on racism is a bit silly. It's a bit weird. It's a bit bizarre. It's kind of stupid.
Now, the contestants don't always do this in every episode, but this particular group has decided to make the decision by voting based on who they think needs money the most.
Basing it on who needs the money the most is literally the best way to decide who should get the money. That makes sense, no?
I spend every single day trying to save the world. I work on issues of climate change. I am a good person, and I need new tires.
That sounded really narcissistic. Self-proclaiming that you're a good person after suggesting that you use racism to determine who gets the money.
She is not suggesting to use racism to determine anything.
Also, I would think that a good person who is here to save the world would want to maybe donate that money to an environmental charity, not buy tires, which, by the way, are made out of oil.
People need tires if they have a car. Most people have cars because it makes it far easier to get around. The alternative for this, for a lot of people, is walking. As you know, the public transport systems in a lot of countries, not just America, but in a lot of countries, are well known for being unusable, tragically bad.
Okay,
here we go. I haven't been working since April, so it'll be my third surgery within a year since my initial accident. Like seriously, my bank account's literally like negative 300 right now.
If you're going paycheck to paycheck, where are those paychecks coming from if you're not working?
Hold up. If you got hurt at work,
Where's your workers' comp?
yeah.
That's my paycheck to paycheck. But you only get how much of your income? You only get 60%.
60% of your income
Exactly.
since April. It's now, how you get workers' comp for 6-7 months?
Like y'all asking too much questions, but that is the truth.
Did you guys hear that fake wind up to cry? Let's hear that again.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, here we go. I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
So I don't know if you know about this, Dylan, but when you're about to like talk about something that's maybe something part of your personal life, you kind of have to, you have to hype yourself up for it. You have to encourage yourself to talk about stuff.
Welcome to acting. And if you don't think she was trying to play it up, here's her telling Hodon to cry during her presentation.
Give me your pitch. Give me your 30-second pitch why you deserve $1,000.
Obviously, yes, she could be playing it up a little bit, but that's the whole point of the show. That's the whole point. That is kind of the whole point. I'm not saying that she's lying, but obviously people are going to exaggerate just a little bit if they have an opportunity to win a somewhat life-changing amount of money. It's certainly enough money to stop you from becoming homeless if you don't have a job.
She might not be allowed to return to work for her initial job, but as far as I can Google search, there's legally nothing wrong with her getting a temporary second job. $300 isn't the end of the world.
$300 of debt does not sound like that much, but it can definitely be the end of the world. If you are in $300 of debt and you don't have a job and you can't easily get a job, it can.
At this point, I'm not working as well, so my bills are, my husband was able to pay them, but they're coming up again, and we may end up homeless.
So how long haven't you had a job?
Since September.
We're in October?
Yeah, it's been 30 days.
But are you choosing to be unemployed because the jobs that are available don't pay you as much money as you want to make?
No, I'm choosing to be unemployed because the jobs that I apply for, they tell me I'm not qualified for because I'm black.
I don't see how anyone could say that. That's not legal.
Because you're white.
Yeah, it happens.
unfortunately.
It happens way too often.
What? That is literally illegal. And it's been illegal for over half a century.
All right, we're going statistics mode up in here now. Just because it's illegal doesn't mean it doesn't happen, okay? Black Americans, on average, receive 36% less calls back than white Americans after doing an interview for a job. This is a fact. That is a fact. That's a fact. Just because it's illegal doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. The same way that, murder's illegal, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Sources in the description.
If what Chris said was actually true, then lawyers would be jumping to help him sue those companies on contingency, and he'd be a millionaire right now. So it sounds like Chris is just lazy and he's mooching off his husband.
Here's another fact and statistic. Lawyers cost about $200 to $500 per hour. So depending on how complicated the case is or how much they're charging you, it can be very difficult to sue someone if you don't have any money to begin with.
Now, 1 month isn't that much time, but he said he's about to go homeless, so at this point, he should be looking for any job he can get and then upgrade from there when things are more stable. If you're looking for any job, it's pretty easy to get employed in like a week, maybe 2 weeks, if you talk to the manager, dress nice for the interview, don't do drugs, and show up on time.
If someone is about to go homeless, what makes you think that they aren't doing everything they can to get any job? Unfortunately, it isn't that easy to get a job as a young black man in America. Obviously, I do not have any anecdotal evidence for that because I am not black and I don't live in America. But the statistics don't lie.
Don't do drugs.
What's up with that line about doing drugs? What gave Dylan the idea that Chris is doing drugs? What's...
But okay, come on. There has to be someone here who I as a viewer can feel like is not a sociopath and deserves the money.
I'm 19 years old. I'm a full-time student. Money would really freaking help. I just bailed out my parents 10 grand, and that was actually what I was supposed to use for my daughter's college fund. Sorry.
Okay, I'm not even gonna pull out any facts or statistics for this one. Don't go to college in America. That's my take. Hot take. Don't go to college in America. Go study abroad. It's way cheaper, and you get the same results. Alternatively, just get a job that doesn't require you to have any kind of college education. There are quite a few out there. I managed to get one last year, so just do that.
My brother's getting married in Michigan.
It's already a no.
You want the $1,000 to go to Michigan?
So I can be at the wedding.
My child, I'm not gonna be able to buy gifts. Like that would have been way better.
I want to be there for my brother and for his fiance and.
FaceTime in.
Hold on.
You could FaceTime him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
Geez, that was mean. She's trying to talk about a serious moment in her brother's life that she might miss because of finances, and you're just laughing at her. Maybe it's not life or death, but it's certainly better than, I'm too lazy to get a job, so give me money.
So here, Dylan is making it seem like making it to a wedding in another state is more important than stopping yourself from becoming homeless. Abby doesn't need to buy a plane ticket to get to the wedding. She can drive there. She can get someone else to drive her there. It's not... I understand that America is a lot bigger than where I live, but a few hours in a car can't be the end of the world. My point here being that $1,000 is absolutely not necessary for that journey. Okay, spoilers, sorry. Joe gets voted off in round 1.
Joe. Sorry, Joe, you gotta go.
Sorry, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
Well done, Joe.
I didn't have a wedding to go to or a car with tires.
It was nice meeting you.
What Dylan doesn't show you is Joe's reason for wanting the money.
My only case that I can make is that, I work hard. I would use the money to, fix my car because I've had a busted windshield and a busted bumper for a while.
But it's still operable, right?
Yeah, for sure.
When you're in a room where there are multiple people saying they could become homeless if they don't get money, I don't think you need the money as badly as they do if all you want to do is fix the bumper and the windshield on your car.
I spent my entire day moving today. I've spent over $3,200 in rent this month alone, plus moving costs, bribing people to help me.
Her reason for wanting the money is that she has just finished moving home, and apparently she spent over $3,200 on rent in 1 month. That's crazy, man. What's up with these landlords, huh? When are we gonna do something about those guys? Yeah, that's right. We hate landlords here as well. Landlords, take the L. I didn't mean for that to... Fucking Christ.
Now, if I wanted to play the same stupid game that some of them are playing, I might point out that after Chris called everyone racist and made an obviously untrue claim about why he can't get hired, they vote off the white guy first, and then Chris immediately goes and attacks the next person who he perceives to be white.
Alright, this is not about him being white. This is about him not needing the money. Because his needs are lesser than the needs of the other people in the group.
Abby, you should go next because using the money for a plane ticket, and I feel like you can save for that.
It also isn't about Abby being white. She doesn't need the money. She wants the money. I mean, she really wants the money, and there's, I guess, a good reason for wanting it, but she certainly doesn't need it. There's definitely a difference there. There's a pretty big difference there.
So here's what I think is interesting, though. I've heard that I'm white, so I can't understand issues, or
I never said that.
I actually rewatched this whole thing specifically to check her statement, and she in fact did not say that.
Exactly. So what's your point, man?
However, after seeing Shakira's behavior the whole episode, my mind was telling me that there was no way she didn't factor in race at some point.
Bro, what? If you take race out of the equation completely, Shakira's talked about how she has had surgery and needs money. and is currently not in a job. Abby wants a plane ticket. It's not about race, it's about needs versus wants.
So I watched it a third time and found Shakira agreeing with Hodan when she says that everyone who is not black should leave.
Wait. What if everyone who's not black leaves as a form of reparation?
Holy
and then the three of
Hold
us,
on.
then the rest of the three of us get to decide who takes $1,000.
This is a goddamn joke, pal. Leave it alone. They clearly didn't go through with it. So, what's your problem? I love this guy. I love this guy. Abby now talks about how it's a double standard, that racism towards her is okay, when if she did it, it wouldn't be.
So I just think it's interesting that race coming from me towards any one of you would be ghastly and inappropriate, but race coming towards any one of you towards me is appropriate.
I don't really want to go into the whole anti-white racism thing. We're not gonna go into it, alright? But let's just say everyone can say cracker, and only black people can say the N-word. That's my take on racism. Now, in terms of statistics, and this isn't my opinion, this is what the statistics say, black Americans, in regards to money, are far less fortunate than white Americans. We're also still talking about the woman who literally only wants a plane ticket.
Appropriate because you have the privilege to be a white person in America.
I'm Hispanic.
You should have spoke up when somebody called you white the first time.
Just take note of how mean and unempathetic the people who believe all the critical race theory doctrine are. We have Hodan here who claims she is a good person and is saving the world. Meanwhile, she does nothing but spew racism and makes this face while Abby is sharing her feelings. Then we have Chris, who claims he's a victim of racist hiring managers who are attacking him for being black. Meanwhile, he says mean things about Abby for being white, and she's not even white.
Okay, this point about her not being white is a very, very strange one. Let's be realistic, okay? Out of the two people that you are seeing on the screen right now, who do you think is most likely to be discriminated against? Because I don't think it's her.
The people on this show even admit that's what they were doing while making fun of another contestant for not being a sociopath.
She should have used what she had to get what she needed. It's a Players Club line. Ronnie Ho quote, you live by it, you get everything you want in life.
Use what you got to get what you want.
Say it again, Shakira.
Use what you got to get what you want.
The line about using what you've got to get what you want, is talking about how Isla did not bring up the fact that she had a child. You would imagine that you would, considering that raising a child can be quite expensive. If she can afford to give her parents $10,000, go to college, and raise a child in America at 19, which is the same age as me, by the way, all at the same time, I'm not sure she needs the money quite as much as everybody else does.
My priority is finding housing. Yours is getting some tires.
I need to pay for my house too. I need to buy a house. I need to pay for my house.
According to you,
I have a
everything's
house
all
loan
set.
that I would like to pay for before I die.
Wait, like 5 seconds ago, Chris was about to go homeless, and now he's trying to purchase a house? What? So you don't need the money. If you're that broke, then use the down payment money you've saved up to pay your rent.
Okay, here we have a very funny moment. Chris does not actually contradict himself here at all. He says that his priority is finding housing, which does not contradict where he said that his bills are coming up, and he may end up homeless. Despite what Dylan might want you to believe, those statements don't contradict each other at all. You can be searching for a home while living in a home. You know, you can search for a home in preparation for the possibility of you becoming homeless. That makes sense to me. Chris never mentioned down payment money, so that's a kind of a relevant point. Alright, the camera angle may have changed a little bit. I don't know what happened. Everything kind of just cut out there.
Or maybe you stop doing this. Here's something that came from the divorce court video.
I love this man, but we have a side chick problem, and it's not a person I can fight. It's a family member.
And they literally, like, by every aspect of side chick, we pay for bills, we pay electricity, we pay for car payments, we pay for back to school shopping.
During the show, Chris goes on to say that he made enough money to give this person 25% of his paycheck, took out a student loan to buy her a car, and then later bought her another car.
So show it then. You're showing a small portion of a video and then telling us stuff that you didn't show on screen.
Chris's husband, who is 3 years younger, strongly implies that he is footing the bill for a lot of this, which is why Chris can afford to give up 1/4 of his income. So Chris's husband is not only supporting Chris, but is also supporting someone else in Chris's family. In one video, Chris is saying he's broke, but in another video recorded around the same time, he's making it rain. Well, I mean, his husband is making it rain, by force.
This doesn't mean that Chris has money. This means that his husband has money. You know, there's a bit of a difference. The husband, at any point, could just say, I'm not paying this shit anymore. And that would be the end of that. There is no by force about it.
And then there's the Islamic girl Hodan, who actually has a house, so what extreme privilege she comes from. I understand this video was probably filmed in 2017, but owning a house was already hard then. Now, thanks to companies like BlackRock and Zillow buying up entire neighborhoods way over asking price, buying a house has become impossible for what seems like most people. So basically, like I said, they've exposed the whole CRT affirmative action grift, which is less about fairness and more about finding whatever trick or excuse they can use to unfairly get what they want.
Okay, this is getting silly. This is getting silly. This is getting silly. It's getting silly now. We're going silly mode up in here. Having a house does not equal extreme privilege. Yes, you do have a form of privilege by owning a home, but Hodan specifically said a loan, a house loan, meaning if she can't pay that, she could lose the house. She doesn't fully own the house. Does that mean she's on the same level as someone who can barely afford rent? Definitely not. Does it mean she's more privileged than the white contestants? Definitely not.
Getting back to the game, at this point, Isla, the girl in the red dress, has gotten blackpilled from the challenge and basically gives up.
Okay, this is hilarious. Dylan does not understand what black pill means. If you want to watch a good video about what black pill content actually is, there's a good video from fellow leftist YouTuber Noah Sampson. Shout out to my man Noah. In the description and hopefully in the pinned comment if I remember to do that. Here's the thumbnail. Isn't it beautiful?
I'm starting to feel bad for everyone. I'm at this point where I want to stick around in the match so I can be actively in the discussion, but I'm like starting to hear everyone's input and I'm like, oh shoot, like maybe I don't deserve this, you know? I'm like, fuck.
Were you forfeiting?
No, I'm not forfeiting.
Well, sort of gives up. It was a funny quip, but she wasn't lying. She decided her soul wasn't worth $1,000, gives up, and gets voted off the challenge immediately after this moment.
This is not what she's implying. She's implying that she feels like she doesn't deserve the money as much as everyone else there. Technically, judging solely by what she has said so far in the video, I would be inclined to agree with her. I would say, personally, I think there are a few other people in that room that probably need it more than she does. I keep hitting this guitar behind me. Look at this thing. Isn't that wacky? Isn't that crazy?
One of the things I found more disturbing about this video is that I know there are people who have their price, but I was shocked at how little money it costs to get some of these people to act terribly. $1,000 isn't that much money, especially when it comes to burning your reputation in front of millions of people.
1K isn't that much money. I say that to my bank balance, man.
Honestly, I'm at that point where I'm starting to think whoever does get the money does not deserve it.
You got up there and
you started crying.
you were like, I don't even know if I deserve this. Okay, well, never mind, Abby. You next.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had one thing that none of us do as a child. And
It's a child. You
child.
could have played that baby card. My baby ain't got no diapers. My baby ain't got no wipes.
That probably
I'm out of breast milk.
That would have worked on me.
I think that after Isla gets voted off, the most entertaining thing is just watching her slowly lose faith in humanity. Here's her grabbing a box of tissues after seeing this horrible display.
Here's her grabbing a box of tissues after this horrible display. Dude, you've literally just taken that clip out of context. You went, ooh, see this bad thing?
The final round is when we get down to 3 people.
Yeah.
And all those 3 people have to decide on the same person. If you guys can't decide,
wise.
You don't need $1,000. I need it because you're a white woman. I'm a black man.
Good job, man. Right-wing YouTube in a nutshell. That's everything that is right-wing content right there for you. Right there. That's right-wing content.
She definitely learned something about people that day.
Yes, dude, she learned that desperate people are desperate. Is that a hard concept to grasp or what? You know, like people who need money will do whatever they can to get it. In some situations, it can be a lot worse than what you're seeing on this show.
Slight tangent, but I did want to give an honorable mention because I, as well as everyone else, didn't seem to notice that the red hair girl Kat isn't much better than Shakira, Chris, or Hodan. During some of the most offensive material, like when they made fun of Isla, Kat is right there laughing with them. I think it's hard to notice because she is much quieter than everyone else, and she didn't initiate anything. But she is definitely involved, and she clearly agrees with the critical race stuff and the intersectionality oppression Olympics when she says this.
We have 2 black women, a white woman, and a black man. We're kind of all on the same level right now,
Right.
like income-wise.
Okay, what's wrong with a white woman accepting the fact that black people are What's wrong with a white woman accepting the fact that black people are systemically more oppressed than white people? What's wrong with that? That's my question.
I do give more credit to Kat though, because she actually has a job, and she showed more empathy for Abby's story by saying she's sorry, instead of just crapping on her like Chris did.
At this juncture, I'm so sorry, Abby, but I have to agree. I gotta pay for plane tickets too.
So not as bad, but definitely not good.
You give more credit to her because she has a job? Shakira has openly said that she doesn't have a job because of an injury. Also, yes, you can be injured without looking injured. For example, I had an issue with my knee a while back, where if I go over here for a sec, if I show you my knee, it doesn't look that injured. Oh, geez, I'm falling over. It doesn't look that injured, does it? I don't know if you can see that properly, but I can show you over this side. That doesn't look too injured, does it? It looks pretty good. That looks like a pretty good knee, right? Well, it isn't super good. I actually had to go do physio to get it to the point that it's at right now. I mean, that's not a serious injury, but it's certainly an injury that you can't see. So.
Also, I happened to notice something else during this video. I'm going to spoil it a bit. The 3 worst people, Shakira, Chris, and Hodan, are the ones who are in the final running for the money.
Yes, the 3 most likely people to not be able to get a job are in the final round. What's wrong with that? They are the 3 people who have said they need the money the most. And I mean, if I was not in a job, I would also think I need more money than people who are in a job because they have income. And obviously I'm talking about in the case where I don't have a job because I'm not able to get one, not the case where I don't have a job because I don't want one. We're not talking about that.
Then why don't you take it from 3 jobs to 1?
That's like saying, why don't you get a job?
I mean, I'm in the process of getting a job. I would never work 3 jobs and be stressing myself out like that.
I don't even think you're willing to stress yourself out for 1 job. Real talk for a second, because some of what he said is technically correct. Though the work ethic required to have 3 jobs is admirable, don't do that. That's how you stay poor. The goal is to do 1 job so well that it pays significantly more than 3 jobs combined. So if you already have a job and it's not paying enough, don't get a second job. Either find somebody in that market who is willing to pay you more, or use your spare time to train for a better job. Do not split your focus between multiple jobs. You'll end up with less money by doing that.
Don't split your focus between jobs. How will you end up with less money though? That's like genuine question. I knew a guy while I was working night shifts. I knew a guy who was working 2 jobs. He'd work from like 12, like midday, up until 11 o'clock at night, nearly. And then he'd show up where I was working and work from like 11:30 until 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. You know? And he was earning far more than I was. Now, I'm not saying that's a good idea because it's probably unhealthy for your mental health, probably not great for your sleep, but you're not going to earn less because of it. Also, I've just rewatched the video just to make sure that I didn't miss anything, and oh my god, dude. If your job isn't paying enough, just get a different one. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, oh, yeah. Yeah. That's quite the take it right there. He is basing his take off the idea that your income is based off of how hard you work. In an ideal situation, yeah, that would be nice, right? That would be nice. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, because there is minimum wage, and companies like to kind of look at that minimum wage and go, look at this. This is nice, right? We'll pay everyone this, and that way, we'll make loads of profit. What? Oh, this is such a good idea. So unfortunately, that's not how it works. If it did work like that, that would be great. And we could all work really hard and earn loads of money, and then we'd all be really well off, and we wouldn't have to worry about being in poverty. That wouldn't be a problem. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. So yes, if you need more money, unfortunately, your best option right now is to find a job that isn't paying minimum wage, which, first of all, can be quite difficult, or find a second job to work on top of your first job.
Anyway, the point is that Chris is out here playing the victim when he isn't even doing the bare minimum.
So he says Chris is out here playing the victim, and he's not even doing the bare minimum. How do you know? How do you know? He's literally told you, he's told all of us, that he's looking for a job. He's actively out there searching for a job, and he can't get one. Why? Because, unfortunately, racism exists.
And it's not just him. Shakira has been in a number of cut videos, and in this one, she alludes to having a drug problem.
Can I get some water real quick? Because my mouth's getting dry.
Yeah.
My mouth gets dry when I get nervous. Also, I'm sober, so that's never fun.
I'm gonna put that in the video now.
If any of you have ever heard me say that pot changes your laugh, and it definitely does, just like smoking a lot of cigarettes makes you sound raspy, this is an example of a pot laugh. Let's hear it again. Later in this video, she says that she's not much of a smoker, but know that addicts lie a lot to save face. Cottonmouth, that laugh, and suggesting that she doesn't enjoy being sober? Yeah, she smokes a lot.
She isn't even talking about drugs, man. That could just be a reference to not being drunk. It's also a joke, you fucking dumbass. Do you not have a sense of humor? She's not exuded any behavior that would suggest she has a drug problem. Pot laugh. Pot. What is that? Pot laugh. What? Oh man. Also, addicts lie a lot. God damn, dude, where are you getting those statistics? Dylan then basically goes on a rant calling Hodan irresponsible and basically telling her to stop crying. Get over yourself. Just deal with it. You're poor. Too bad. Just stop being that.
As for Hodan, though I can't really find any additional information on her, I get the sense that she is similarly irresponsible. When she is asked why she needed the money, she didn't say, "I'm working hard and I can't figure it out," like the four others did. She said, "My life is bad because of my race." She also said she did some sort of work with climate stuff. I don't know if that's some sort of charity or if that's her actual job. If it's charity, then she should stop. If you can't afford tires in a place where it rains a lot like Seattle, then you don't have the luxury of doing charity. Charity comes after you are able to take care of yourself. If it's her job, then I think she should find another one because it doesn't pay her enough. Or she isn't responsible with money.
Stop not having money. Shame on you.
Everybody on the sidelines, who do you think deserves it out of those three?
None of them.
Yeah, can I recuse myself?
Recuse.
I thought that was funny.
I bet you did, man.
But during this part of the video, all three of the surviving contestants have to decide who gets the money, and if they don't vote unanimously, no one gets it. At this point, they decide to huddle up so they can't be influenced by the more moral people who are already out of the game, and Hodon takes one last chance to say something racist.
I want you to take the money. And it's not because I hate you, because we're all black, I love all of us.
And then they pick Shakira.
All right, dude, that isn't racist. That's not racist. That's not racism. You have detected nothing. You're waffling. What are you waffling about? This is what. Oh man. She literally just said we're all black, and then Hodon says she doesn't deserve the money. I detect no racism here. I don't see any racists. None that I can see. Nope.
After that, they try to act like they're generous and caring.
I already knew that I'm okay without this $1,000. It'd be nice to have, but it's not shaking my world up right now.
And she's in a worse predicament than us.
And I would rather that money go towards.
Thank you guys.
Shakira.
What's even funnier is that Cut did a post-show interview in a separate video. They asked a great question to Shakira.
Do you have any regrets about how you played?
Not at all.
She later says that the way she behaved was just her being competitive. No, it's you being a sociopath. Haven't you ever heard, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game? Who cares if you won, if you win in such a way that nobody wants to play the game anymore?
Dude, this isn't about it being a game. Alright? Desperate people will do crazy shit to get what they need. There are plenty of people who would go on that show and just lie their asses off to get that money because some people need it more than others.
Like, everyone had problems. Everyone here wanted the money. It's weird, halfway through, I was like, I don't belong here. Like, tearing other people apart just because I want money.
Correct. You would think that most people would feel like that. But when you have a group of people who for years have been falsely told that all white people are out to get them, it's going to breed a certain amount of animosity towards the people they believe are oppressing them. All of this is under the guise of critical race theory. Hodon and Chris said those things because of that ideology. And you have to ask, do you really want more of this? Do you want more people using the word white privilege as an excuse to treat others like crap? Do you want more people blaming their obvious bad choices on some mysterious ill they cannot specifically define instead of actually fixing their problems? Because that's all critical race theory does. It doesn't actually fix anything, it just makes people hate each other. What the promoters of CRT don't want is people like Chris saying, instead of blaming my problems on my skin color, maybe I should try putting in more effort to get the things I want and make more responsible choices. Because then he might actually get what he wants and be happy.
It isn't about all white people being out to get them. It's about the fact that racism is actively working against these people. It's an objective fact that black people are far more likely to become homeless or simply poor than white people, just because of their skin color and the way that the system is run. That's just how it is. You have to at least be able to see that and understand that that is the reality of the situation. Also, he basically just says, stop blaming racism, just be better. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Very unfortunate that that isn't how it works, but that's not how it works.
The race grifters really don't want that message to be popular with black people, which is why they do things like call Larry Elder the black face of white supremacy when he ran against Gavin Newsom in California, even though it goes directly against what they say their diversity and inclusion goals are, because Gavin Newsom is a rich white male and Larry Elder is black.
A couple of notes about the people that he's just brought up. Larry Elder said that systemic racism within the American police force isn't real. I don't know what else to tell you. That's just, that's all you need to hear. Also, Gavin Newsom is a Democrat.
This kind of framing where you don't want to take responsibility so you blame something that's out of your control is not how you get what you want. And people don't just do it with race, they do it with all kinds of things. Lots of people are guilty of it. How many times have you heard a YouTuber blame the algorithm for when their views start going down?
Jesus Christ, he's comparing racism to the YouTube algorithm. God damn, dude. Oh man. He has compared racism to the YouTube algorithm. Oh. Do you ever find yourself running out of energy in the middle of a gaming session? Well, not to worry, because I can help with that. Don't worry, today's video is not sponsored, but I do have a lovely affiliate marketing program. If you'd like some energy, check out W Energy, w.gg. If you use code ACTUALARCHER at checkout, you will get 10% off. And I will get 10% of your money. Now that sounds like a good deal to me. W Energy is quite possibly the healthiest energy drink out there. Think like G Fuel, but made with actual healthy ingredients. Unlike the unhealthy ones. Don't think I'm allowed to specify which ones in case I get sued. So yes, if you'd like some healthy energy today for a low price of 10% off, use code ACTUALARCHER. All one word, no space. You can use capital letters if you want. I don't think it makes a difference. Use code ACTUALARCHER at checkout. You get 10% off. That's a great deal. And I get 10% of whatever money you spend. So that is a great deal for me. Please do that. I am imploring you to do that. I highly suggest you do that. If you need energy, please, I am begging you. I need the money. Please God. Anyway, back to the video. Yeah, that's right. Back to the video. Alright, not only have we changed the color palette and changed the camera angle, I think, a little bit, we've also changed what video we are reacting to now. The video that we're going to react to is Fat Acceptance is pressuring guys to date women they find unattractive. Interesting. Interesting. So this is actually a video that I reacted to live on Twitch at twitch.tv/actual_archer. If you want to come watch my Twitch streams live, go to the link in the description. Check it out. It's super fun. We react to this kind of stuff all the time. More importantly, I still had long hair. Yeah, that's tragic. It looked good occasionally. So this is actually a reaction to the button. This is another show that Cut has done on YouTube. This guy really loves reacting to this channel for some reason. Now the first thing that I noticed immediately about this video was the comment section. It was brilliant. Here's an example.
I've said it so many times, but I'll say it again. The fat acceptance movement is about fat women, not fat people. By the way, that's not true. Actual people who are advocating for acceptance of people who are overweight, it is about fat people. It's certainly not about just women.
But you know, straw men and all that, I sure do love
making stuff up in my head and then believing that to be the truth.
Sorry about that. The audio, I've just realized, was not recording, so you had to listen to my horrible phone microphone. I'm really sorry about that. So if you've been around on the internet for any length of time, or if you're an active Twitter user, you've probably seen this particular episode of The Button kind of floating around. The theory in this one is that the guy is hugging all of the women to see if they're fat, and Dylan is going to really hate that, and he's gonna go at that. He's really gonna go at it. So let's see what he says.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You're needing a hug.
Thank you.
For those of you who didn't catch on, in this dating show, the players are blindfolded, and Nathan has figured out an exploit to game the system. He asked girls if he could hug them, which allowed him to get a feel of their physique. And of course, Twitter found a way to say that this was problematic, while ignoring all other information that did not fit their narrative.
Oh yeah, isn't that fantastic? We love this guy. I think streaming me with the long hair said it pretty well. Take it away, long hair me.
Nathan has figured out an exploit to game.
Figured out an exploit. He's talking about it like it's a video game. Found a glitch in the Matrix.
Even when it was obvious. Here's the tweet. It says, he hugged every single girl that sat down, and when he realized they were fat, he immediately pressed the buzzer. This dude is actually just fat-phobic. First of all, that tweet isn't even accurate. He didn't hug every girl because the last one figured it out.
And then right afterwards we hugged. Oh, he sat down, bustling right away.
Do you want to give me a hug and see how tall I am?
Not right now.
Second, if we're going to turn this into a men versus...
So let's change the tweet slightly. Let's reword the tweet slightly to what the author of the tweet probably meant when they said hugged every single girl and then immediately pressed the buzzer. I'm gonna reword that to every girl that he buzzed, he immediately sat down and buzzed straight away after the hug. And the only reason that he didn't get to do that was the last girl buzzed before he was able to do it. You know, I probably haven't worded that particularly well, but it gets the point across.
Now, an important thing that I do want to say is that if you are overweight, it is possible to lose the weight. It is possible. Might not be healthy, but it is possible. For most people, all you have to do is eat less calories than your body needs. That sounds extreme, but hear me out. You just need to eat less calories than what your body needs to maintain itself, and as soon as you start doing that, your body will use the fat that you have built up as energy, because the fat is just stored energy, essentially. Now, obviously, people have different metabolisms. Some people have certain medical issues where it makes it much harder to do that, and if you stop eating enough calories, it can be very dangerous for your health. I would always suggest to discuss it with, for example, a trainer or obviously a medical professional, someone who knows what they're talking about. From there, you'll know where to go. But my overall point here is that being overweight for a lot of people is a choice. Obviously, not for everyone. And I don't think we should discriminate against people who are overweight. But if you are currently trying to find a partner, you are allowed to have preferences. And one of those preferences can certainly be body weight. That certainly seems fair to me. Now, to be honest, I think most of the points that I made during the stream were pretty much exactly what I would say here. So I'm just gonna play a couple of clips, maybe even play the whole thing from the stream, and I'll let you sit back and relax and enjoy that. And then and then I'll see you at the end for one final goodbye. And that will be the end of the video. So yeah, I guess I'll see you then.
I don't think it's fat phobic to have a preference regarding body weight. However, at the same time, he could have been hugging them and then, you know, seeing that they were too tall or not tall enough. That's another thing. You can have height preferences. You know, you see it all the time, especially on Twitter pages that post like women's Tinder profiles for some reason. Yeah, they exist, by the way. The ones for men don't seem to exist as frequently. But you'll see, like, on some Twitter profiles, must be 6'2", whatever. That's a height preference. So he could very easily have a height preference, and they simply do not fit into it. He could be looking for someone that's, like, you know, towering over him. And he didn't find that today. It's kind of weird to automatically assume it was about weight, unless he specifically said it. You know, he specifically said it himself.
Second, if we're going to turn this into a men versus women pissing contest, in this particular episode, the women were far more prejudiced. Even the anime girl that this Twitter account mentions.
What is your type?
I'm definitely very into Asian men.
Oh wait, this they/them actually brought that up, but it appears only after being called on it. Great, now we've established that anime girl is a racist, and everyone here is a bad person. Okay, this person says that tweet was posted because people always talk about the double standard when it's women, but when men do it, no they don't.
It is racist. That is racist, by the way. Specifically to fetishize certain races or only want to date a certain race, it is a bit strange.
Also, it's not the same because he can't change his race, but she can change her body composition. And if you say it's a problem that no one is pointing out both sides and then proceed to not point out both sides, then you are a part of the problem. Like I said, there are many. She can change her body composition all the time. Also, it's not the same because he can't change his race, but she can change her body composition. And if you say it's a problem that no one is pointing out both sides and then proceed to not point out both sides, then you are a part of the problem. Like I said.
What? Did you not see this? Both are prejudiced people. So, like, yeah, sure, this was made after this tweet, probably after, you know, they got a few replies saying, you know, well, what about the dude? But both sides are mentioned here. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
This they/them actually brought that up.
I don't, that's annoying, by the way, saying that. This they/them. Like, just say this person. Literally just say this person. Like, how is it that difficult? You know, it's not that difficult.
Everyone here is a bad person. Okay, this person says that tweet was posted because people always talk about the double standard when it's women, but when men do it, no they don't. Men get crapped on for their preferences all the time. Also, it's not the same because he can't change his race, but she can change her body composition.
Alright, we're just gonna move on to the next bit.
Like I said, there are many more examples of women than men in this video that portray behavior that woke people would qualify as prejudice. I'll show you what I mean, but first, let me tell you about this video's sponsor.
No thanks.
I definitely love people who are like athletic and into the gym.
Let her feel your arms.
Okay, you seem strong.
Blindfolds off in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You're not what I expected you to
Really?
be, honestly. I'm so sorry.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. Oh my god.
Hello.
You're cute.
Oh, stop.
I'm glad I skipped the person before this.
Gee, she didn't like the way he looked, so she pressed the buzzer. She was like
So?
super brutal with.
So? She didn't think he was attractive. You know, you can say that. That's not weird. That's not a weird thing to do. I don't think it's weird to do that. Quite obviously, she thought that the second guy was more attractive. I don't think that's weird. I don't know. Am I wrong for saying that? I think it's perfectly normal to find one person attractive and not find someone else attractive. And, you know, to not want to go on a first date with someone because you don't think they're attractive.
Do we have a phobic term for that, or do you only get that privilege on certain occasions? What about this girl?
Amy wants 3 kids.
3 is a little too much. It's like,
Is it like you don't make enough?
Okay, so if Nathan the Asian guy is fatphobic, then this girl is like econophobic or whatever. She's prejudiced against guys who don't have money, which I guess now makes her a racist when it comes to woke rules.
Oh my god, dude. That's just a question, by the way. Like, you can, to a certain extent, change how much money you make. Obviously, I don't think it's fair to judge someone on how much money they make, but asking a question like that is not weird. I mean, it's a tiny bit weird, but you know, it's not wrong to ask someone how much money they make. Maybe not on a first date, but you know, if you're going to date someone, you want to know that they're financially stable, or at least that they are in a position where they are not going to be, you know, going into debt, because that can be very difficult to deal with, especially in a relationship that you've only been in for a small period of time. Brand new relationship, you don't really want to be dealing with financial problems. That's the kind of thing that you deal with, you know, a couple of years into the relationship. But I want to listen to this again. This was hilarious.
The Asian guy is fatphobic, then this girl is like econophobic or whatever. She's prejudiced against guys who don't have money, which I guess now makes her a racist when it comes to woke rules.
When it comes to woke rules, guys, she's racist. It's not really how it works. I mean, obviously, yes, racism does tie in sometimes to how much money you're going to make. It's kind of weird to have that opinion that, oh, well, I guess she's, you know, she's prejudiced against the guy because he doesn't make that much money. But that's not what she based any decision off of. She just asked the question in response to, I want to have 3 kids, and he said no. Having children is financially, you know, it's a big step. You're going to want to be financially secure.
Seriously, these people will find anything to get offended by. Nobody is ever a good person. This is despite that Nathan could not have been nicer to the people he rejected.
Sorry, I am so sorry. You're lovely.
I mean, this woke stuff is getting so ridiculous that even Hassan is calling it out.
They're all playing the fucking game, and only one side is being criticized. What are you supposed to do? Is he supposed to go on a date and live happily ever after with someone that he is not physically attracted to? I find this so fucking strange because you don't do that. You do not do that. Anyone who fucking says that they do that is lying.
Right.
That's a good point. I do quite like Hassan. He's a decent streamer. He makes some very good points sometimes. And I do think that if you're going to date someone, you should at least be a little bit attracted to them physically. And yeah, newsflash. Sorry, guys, but newsflash. I don't really like using that term. But once again, newsflash, I've used it 3 times now. Having extra weight can make you less attractive. I'm just going to say that. Like, if you lose weight, I know, like, even for myself, I've lost something like, I don't know, something like 20 pounds in the last 6 months or something. And I feel that I have, like, as a whole, I feel that I am slightly more attractive. You can disagree with that. You can have your opinion on that, because obviously it's very subjective. But it feels good as well. It feels good to not have that extra body weight. Obviously, I'm not like a gym bro. I don't go to the gym every day. I don't work out all the time. But the thing is, you can have preferences. You can absolutely have preferences.
Right. People are allowed to have their preferences, and that does not make them bad people. This girl is allowed to not want to date a guy who cannot afford to have 3 kids. If anime girl wants to date Asian guys, that's great. If
No,
Nathan wants
that's where the problem is. See, the thing is, right, yes, you can date an Asian guy, but you shouldn't choose the guy you're going to date just because he's Asian, if that makes sense. There's a difference between choosing to date someone who's Asian and choosing to date someone because they're Asian. Whereas the thing about money, like, obviously, yes, you want to make sure that the person you're dating is financially stable, that they can support themselves and aren't going to, be relying on your wallet.
to date someone who is in shape, then more power to him. After all, Nathan is a model.
Nathan models.
Oh, are you your model?
Oh, I don't. Where did you guys get that information? What?
Okay, Nathan maybe is a model. The button might just be referring to this other video he was in with people in the modeling industry.
Nathan, how you doing?
Oh, good. Wow, that is good. What are we here to do?
Oh, that's the
You are
same
here
dude?
to, check this out.
Yeah, I'd give him a 10. Absolutely. Somebody would book him.
If you haven't noticed, channels like Cut use the same people a lot, and this wasn't the first time that Nathan was in a video.
I didn't
Not
realize
that
that
these
was the
little
same
dating
guy.
shows on Cut or Jubilee should be taken super seriously, though. A lot of these things are really just a game, especially the button where the goal is not so much to find your true love, but more so just to not get out.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Sorry.
Oh, it didn't turn red yet.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Give each other a chance.
Yeah, let's give each other a chance. Let's.
I love this
okay,
clip,
you
by the
wanna
way,
do
the
it?
fact that he, like, immediately buzzes. I
She
love
got
that
what she
clip.
deserved.
I am, what do you call a furry? I only have one.
He also got what he deserved. But I bet the majority of the people who are in these kinds of videos don't even go on a date outside of the show, and I would be surprised if any of them made it past a few dates. However, what I don't like about this stuff is that there is this constant, ever-creeping set of either double standards or standards that nobody can or realistically wants to follow that come from woke people and modern feminists. You aren't really solving any problems.
Woke people and modern feminists, am I right?
Or standards that nobody can or realistically wants to follow that come from woke people and modern feminists.
What standards? Which ones? What is he talking about? I'm just gonna, like, talk about some stuff, right? Some standards real quick. Not wanting to date someone who's overweight is okay. You can choose not to date someone who's overweight because they're overweight. You can have a preference for not wanting to date someone who is fat. Choosing to date someone who is a certain race because they're a certain race is a bit weird. You shouldn't really do that. It's a little bit racist to just date one particular race because that's the only race you feel comfortable dating. Or, for example, how some people might see black men as having rather large penises. That's weird. It's weird to say that. That's racist. It's racist to assume that a black man will have a large penis. It's also racist to date a black man because you think that. Another one, actually, that is a bit weird, that not many people talk about, that I think needs to be talked about more, is height. You can't change what, like, height you are. Obviously, yeah, people will choose whether or not they want to date you based on height. Like, I'm not going to date someone who's absolutely towering over me because, I don't want to. And I don't think there's a problem with that. But I think that, it's more of a problem than the whole not wanting to date someone because of their weight. Because I think that's perfectly fine. If you're rather big, and someone says they don't want to date you, first of all, you shouldn't, like, automatically assume it's because you're overweight. And if you do assume that, you probably don't like the fact that you're overweight. If that's the first thing you assume, it's probably something you're insecure about. And I think you should attempt to lose that weight. Obviously, obesity crisis, it's down to a certain degree, it's down to, like, your class. It's down to how much money you have, because, as I've said before, the cheap food is usually the least healthy food. So if you're working a minimum wage job, you're only really going to be able to afford food that will get you fat. It doesn't have as many nutritional value to the same extent that more expensive, healthier food is. But at the same time, you can get healthy food rather cheap. You just have to look a bit harder. Like lentils, for example, they're rather cheap. Rice, from what I can see, is fairly cheap. There are certain things that you can buy that are cheap. There's shops, I'm not sure, what are they called? I think it's called Cost Less. There's a shop called Cost Less here in Ireland. There's only one of them, I think. But you can get like 2 kilo bags of rice for like literally nothing. You can get a kilo of lentils for like €1, €2. So you just have to find a shop like that will sell you a lot of food very cheap. And usually it's very healthy food. With those shops, sometimes exposing his general area, doxed. Oh no! Generally speaking, there will be a shop around the place like that. That particular Cost Less shop is mostly has like Middle Eastern food, Asian food, that kind of stuff. A lot of it, you go in, you go, what the hell is that? There's no English on the packet. You're trying to figure out what it actually is. But there's stuff in there that like you've probably eaten before that is going to cost you a lot less in there. Hence the name. Cost Less. Find a shop like that. As I was saying, weight, body weight, you can change it. Obviously, there's some people that have much slower metabolisms. Could be due to genetics. Could be due to menopause, actually. Whereas something like height, there's very few things that will actually increase your height beyond surgery or wearing tall shoes. So, some people are going to choose not to date you because you're either too short or too tall. Some people will, which I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, some people will choose not to date you because you're a different race. That's racist. But these aren't like impossible standards. I don't know what he's talking about. Impossible standards due to like woke people and modern feminism. Is that what you're going with?
You aren't really solving any problems. You're just making people hate each other. How is calling everyone prejudiced and saying that they're evil for having preferences, spreading love and not hate? Particularly when it comes to moral consistency or looking at both sides. None of this fat acceptance stuff really has anything to do with man. I've seen tons of videos like this next one. Not once has it been created by a man.
Let's talk about dating preferences. A lot of times when people are asked, why don't you date fat people, trans people, people of color, whatever, they will say, it's just a preference. I'm just not attracted to them. I can't make myself be attracted to someone I'm just not attracted to.
Yes, I don't see what's wrong with that. If you don't fit someone's preferences, then find someone whose preferences that you
All right, well, first of all, I want to address the things that were said in that video. The first one, obviously being overweight, that can be changed, as I've just talked about. If someone chooses not to date you because you're overweight, you can change that. If someone chooses to not to date you because you're trans, and then they say it's just a preference, that's strange. It's not something you can change. If you're trans, you're trans. And if they say it's just a preference, well, what is their preference? If they're a man, right, and you're, for example, a trans woman, so someone who's transitioned from male to female, if they say it's, their preference, they don't want to date you because of their preferences, they might be gay. Choosing not to date a trans woman because, well, it's my preferences. Your preference is obviously not women then. And then obviously with the race, if you choose not to date someone because of their race, that's racist. That is racism.
It's not that complicated of an idea. This is literally just the woke version of incels saying that the government should provide them girlfriends.
The implication here...
What?
This is literally just the woke version of incels saying that the government should provide them girlfriends.
I wonder where he heard that one. Fucking Discord server is the kind of dude that, is actually
most likely one of these self-proclaimed incels, and he's making fun of them. It's friendly fire, man. You can't do that. Also, I don't think the incel rhetoric is that the government should provide a girlfriend. I think the idea that they want, from what I've heard, they like arranged marriages. Slightly different, because most arranged marriages are arranged by the family, not by the government.
The implication here being that preferences are innate, unchanging, and completely independent of any outside factors or societal norms. And therefore, that they are inherently unproblematic. Like, it's not fat phobia, it's just who I am. I can't help it. But I think it's actually a lot more complicated than that. Our desires are not immune to social conditioning. Although, of course, you can't change your sexual orientation, when we see a certain type of body glorified, praised, and labeled as desirable in media, from the time that we can even process those messages, it's not gonna not have an impact on us.
Wait, so why is it a preference that cannot be changed when it's someone who is gay, but if I'm only attracted to girls who are thin, well then that is malleable and I should be subjected to some sort of anti-fat phobia conversion therapy?
Oh. He did the thing. He did the thing. He just compared an entire sexuality with not wanting to date fat people. He just said, well, if my, preference to date someone who's overweight can change, then, why don't gay people just start, dating people of the opposite sex? Huh? I'll tell you why. Because they aren't gay. You ever heard of bisexuality? If someone, let's say, for example, if a man only dated men for the entirety of his life and then found a woman that he decided to date, that does not make it fake gay. That does not mean that that guy is straight. What that means, and I'll say it slowly, is that he is bisexual. Oh man, I love this guy. I love this guy. Okay, let's get back into it. Let's try and finish this.
Maybe you are sexually attracted to fat people, but you can't see yourself in a romantic relationship with one because you've never seen that replicated in media.
Yes, we need the media's permission to like someone. By the way, what? There was literally a really popular show called Mike and Molly that did just that. There are overweight people in relationships all over TV. But now that you mention it, conversion therapy and all, I keep seeing stuff in that direction in some of these leftist dating shows where there's an obvious mismatch in body type that is typically in favor of women. Here's one from a channel called Nectar that I believe is run by Jubilee. Spoilers, they get along, but they didn't end up dating. Most likely because they weren't attracted to each other. Anyway, Jubilee ran a dating show kind of similar to what Cut did with the blindfolding. This is from their Versus 1.
What? What? What is he talking about? Like, what? Speaking of conversion therapy, look at what the leftists are doing. They're putting fat people on TV. Not only that, but they're putting fat women on TV. And I hate women and fat people, especially fat women. Oh, and what's that? Is that an Asian man that isn't fat in the same room as a woman who is fat? Unbelievable, unacceptable. Look at what the leftists are doing. This is the future that Joe Biden wants. Like, what is he talking about?
Jubilee ran a dating show kind of similar to what Cut did with the blindfolding. This is from their Versus 1 series, a lot of which will have the male or the female contestants behind a curtain. They give the person in front who is choosing some sort of information about the contestants, and they will have to pick who to go on a date with without being able to see them. In this episode, Jubilee did glow-ups. If you don't know what a glow-up is, it's basically when someone grows up and starts taking care of their appearance. They start hitting the gym, they get...
No, it's not. What? A glow up, generally speaking, is just like when someone becomes more attractive over time. It doesn't come from them taking care of themselves. A lot of the time, these like glow up things, especially that kind of glow up, is just because someone becomes more attractive after going through puberty. Has this guy never heard of a glow up before? It doesn't necessarily come from, you know, I decided to start taking care of myself and I decided to go to the gym. Someone can glow up without becoming less fat, by the way. That's also a thing. There's some people out there that actually look better with a little bit more body weight.
In this particular episode, one glow-up girl has to choose between 6 glow-up guys by only seeing their before photos. Let's meet Victoria.
I'm 23 years old. I'm a graduate student at the University of Southern California. I'm a concert photographer and a journalist. I think a glow-up is not only appearance, but definitely affects inside as well.
Okay, she's 23 and she's a
That's
grad
true.
student. Sorry to be rude, but right away I'm already asking, where's the glow-up? When we get to the guys, you'll see why I'm asking this question. But let's skip to the end real quickly because you don't get to see her photo until the last few seconds of the video. Here's what she used to look like. This is her from around 10 years ago, and it doesn't really look like she's changed that much.
Excuse me? Dude, if you told me that that was 2 different people, I would believe you. What do you mean?
She didn't really do much from a fashion standpoint. All she did was put on a basic dress, let her hair down, and put some basic makeup on.
There's a huge difference. I love these people. I love these particular people in general are, you know, they're so funny.
From the looks of it, she didn't work on by far the most important thing, which is her body shape. That might sound harsh to say, but when you see the guys, you'll see that 100% of them did take care of their body shape. This factor is probably why the producers showed her saying that glow up isn't just about appearance when she introduced herself.
I think a glow up is not only appearance, but definitely affects
She
inside
definitely
as well.
looks like she's lost weight. I'm sorry. Can we go back to that picture? I'm sorry. Like, the jawline has changed. Her face shape has changed. She absolutely looks like she's lost a little bit of weight. You realize if you looked at the picture for a minute, and if you've seen women before, you know, if you know what women look like. Unfortunately, I don't think this guy comes into contact with many of those.
I know for me, it was more about confidence and how I felt about myself. You kind of are able to recognize that in other people that have gone through that experience.
Again, sorry to be harsh, but we're here to learn about appearance. That being said, I'm not seeing a ton of confidence. You can see here that she has bad posture and she's slouching. She does that a lot throughout the video. And her body language in her introduction is very stiff and unrelaxed, especially in...
That has absolutely nothing to do with confidence. This guy has watched too many Charisma on Command videos, and he thinks that, like, confidence comes from body language. That is so funny. You can be very confident and have bad posture. Like, can you see the way I'm sitting in this chair right now? This is absolutely not good posture. Posture has absolutely nothing to do with confidence. And body language, at the same time, usually has absolutely nothing to do with confidence. I mean, you can have confident body language, but it's a different thing.
throughout the video. And her body language in her introduction is very stiff and unrelaxed, especially in her arms at the elbow joint. Now granted, she definitely looks better than she did in the before photo. My problem with this video is not with her at all. It's more so with the producers of this show, who put guys behind the curtain who did way more work than her to improve themselves, and the suggestion that their glow-ups were equal. That's what I don't like, even going back to the cut video. It's the suggestion...
I highly doubt that the producers of the show or anyone involved in the making of the show actually said that their glow-ups were equal. Now, if you had showed, like, if you had shown that on the screen and said, look, they're saying this thing, I would believe you. That didn't happen. I don't think anyone suggested that their glow-ups were equal. The same way I probably, if I saw the clips, would suggest that I would say that they're not even suggesting suggesting that each guys glow up as you.
And the Asian model put equal effort into their appearance and calling people fat-phobic for pointing out that they didn't.
I like that we get two options here. That's nice. We have a tank top and we have a t-shirt. It's like a little modeling portfolio. Oh, the braces. I always wanted braces. I'm actually really jealous. As a kid, I begged for them. I never had them. And
Pause right there. She actually has some pretty good teeth for someone who has never had braces. I'll give her some points for mouth posture, to which I personally believe is important for developing physical attractiveness. I'm not an expert on that though, so check out Mike Mew for
Sorry,
more information.
What, mouth posture?
Anyway,
I like this smile. Just barely there. Thanks guys for letting me view these. I feel very privileged.
again, really nothing against her. She's very polite the whole time. All the distaste is at the producers for obviously mismatching these groups.
I'm going to eliminate contestant number 5. Stop!
It was at this moment that she knew. She f***ed up.
Oh my gosh, you're so handsome.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Victoria.
How's it going?
Now you can see what I'm talking about. Let's go back to this guy's original photo. A clear improvement in fashion sense, a clear improvement in hairstyle. It also looks like he works out a little bit. This guy's put a lot of work into it. It looks like he fashion sense.
It just looks like he grew up. Like his entire face shape has changed. His eyebrows got lower. It looks like his jaw like filled out a little bit more. Obviously, he lost a bit of the natural like baby fat. Also, that's not. I don't know what he's talking about, but the hairstyle. You can barely even see his hair in this picture. But I wouldn't say it's that bad. And this dude could come out wearing this, and like it wouldn't make him as a person any less attractive. So I don't get the whole, well, he changed what he's wearing, you know, so obviously he's more attractive now because he's changed what he's wearing. Obviously, yes, like what you're wearing will leave an impression on people. It is important to wear clothes that suit you. For example, what I'm wearing right now would absolutely not look, you know, it doesn't look particularly good, but it's comfortable, and I'm in my own bedroom, and I don't care. You know what I mean?
It also looks like he works out a little bit. This guy's put a lot of work into his appearance.
What? What do you mean he works out a little bit? Man, you can look like that by just not eating shit. You don't have to work out to look like that. A lot of people that look like that never work out. They just have like good genetics. And they don't eat McDonald's for breakfast every day.
Even the editors were like, Victoria, you made the wrong choice when you got rid of him. Again, why were these people matched? All of these guys are in shape. Even the ones who don't look like they work out that much still look like they exercise a little bit. With how much she puts down fitness, it should have been the producer's cue to pick someone else for this video.
How important is fitness to you?
I work out about 4 days a week. It's not like super important in my life.
Wait, so hold on. She works out 4 times a week, and he's still saying, well, you know, these guys, even though they don't work out, you know, they look like they put a lot more effort in. Yeah.
Contestant number 1, you mentioned fitness in your life. I'm not looking to be a gym couple. I do love working out on my own, but I don't know, I see those people at the gym and it's not me. Oh, hi.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm
You're
loving
so
it.
handsome.
Thank you.
Nothing on her. I just want to use this as a teaching moment because other people will say this type of stuff and kind of gaslight themselves into thinking they are doing something effective. But I doubt she exercises that much or has done that consistently for a long period of time.
Why?
Let's be honest. Most times, for most people, working out sucks. People who exercise that often and take it seriously generally don't like to blow their workout on overeating, unless they are the people who bulk but forget to cut. If we're talking about appearance, though, there is...
So he's assuming that she overeats because she's, you know, she's heavier than all of the dudes that came out. Again, like I mentioned earlier, it could very easily be down to how much money she has. She might not be able to afford, like, the super healthy options, which is absolutely fine. Not everyone is, you know, slightly overweight because oh, they're just lazy and they don't watch what they're eating. It's also weird to say that, like, if you work out, you can't eat what you want. Like, if you work out, you have to focus on becoming ripped. You know, you have to be really lean. It's like, no, you can work out and still not care what you look like. A lot of people work out for mental health reasons. Like, a lot of people exercise because it makes them happy. Because exercising releases dopamine. It can make you feel good. It can also help you feel really energized. Going for a jog, a lot of the time, you'll actually feel like you have more energy afterwards. So it's weird to suggest that, like, if you go to the gym, you have to also be watching what you're eating. And, like, clearly she's not, because she's heavier. It's like, what? That's not at all true. None of that is true.
There's no point in exercising if you aren't going to take care of your diet. Either she doesn't actually exercise that much, or she does random stuff like only hits the treadmill or the elliptical because she doesn't know what she's doing. Here's a little...
He's now suggesting that if you use the treadmill, you're not actually working out. That's right, guys. You can't exercise on a treadmill. Also, there is a point to exercise even if you're not watching what you're eating, like I already explained, but also it makes your heart healthier. It can lower your blood pressure. Obviously, another way to make your heart healthier and lower your blood pressure would be to, like, lose as much weight as you can without becoming unhealthily skinny. Again, not everyone exercises to become skinny or to become really bulky. That's like suggesting, like, if you lift weights and you're not trying to become a bodybuilder, there's no point in lifting those weights. It's not true. That's not true. You know what I mean? That's just a lie.
Insider info on the gym. All the cardio machines like the treadmills, bikes, ellipticals, and stair machines are mostly for normies. Cardio is important, but if you're looking to...
He said normies. Dude, I highly doubt this man has ever been inside a gym. Oh my god. Remember, guys, the treadmills, they're for the normies. If you see someone on a treadmill, they're a normie. You know, they don't use Reddit like I do. If someone's going into a gym to lose weight, which is what this guy is talking about, like, the treadmill is a good option. The same way that, you know, going for a jog or even going for a walk is a very good way to lose weight. Combining that with, you know, watching what you're eating, and you will lose weight. You'll lose weight quicker or slower than other people depending on, obviously, you know, depending on your metabolism and genetics and certain different things. And obviously certain people have conditions that will make it a lot harder to lose the weight, but it's possible. Remember, guys, the treadmill, that's for the normies, am I right? That is so funny. I need to hear that again.
Ellipticals and stair machines are mostly for normies. Cardio is important, but if you're looking to actually enhance your appearance with working out, or you actually want to do exercises that lead to athletic ability, then go watch some YouTube videos or hire a trainer and learn what you're doing.
I think I'm gonna...
What does that mean? Your trainer will tell you to get on the treadmill. I highly doubt this guy has ever even tried to lose weight.
Contestant number 6. There is no good reason. I'm so sorry about that. Hi. Oh my gosh, you look so different.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
You weren't into the chunky glasses and the little
You
hair
know
strand
what?
going
We
down?
all went through it.
This is the third time I'm saying this. Why were these people matched? It just feels like there's no stakes here because of the numbers mismatch, so I'm having a lot of trouble believing that this will actually lead to a date or a relationship. And of course, conveniently...
Wait. Did he send the numbers? Hold on.
It just feels like there's no stakes here because of the numbers mismatch. Why were these people matched? It just feels like there's no stakes here because of the numbers mismatch.
Oh, okay. He either means because there's only one woman and there's like 6 dudes, and like there's no stakes because she can't lose, or he's using, you know, incel terms, which is equally funny.
So I'm having a lot of trouble believing that this will actually lead to a date or a relationship. And of course, conveniently, when they did the reverse situation where a guy was choosing, he was in shape.
I'm 19. I am...
He doesn't look like he's that in shape. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, he looks he looks just about as in shape as I am. And I have not gone to a gym once
in the last like 3 years. You can look like this without exercising. He just happens to be a somewhat attractive guy. You know what I mean?
I'm 19. Go to Saddleback right now. It's a community college by where I live. I'm majoring in real estate development, and then I also do photography and acting.
Look at his before photo and you can definitely see a difference.
Well, first of all, there's the lighting there is horrendous. I don't know what he was thinking with that lighting in that picture. That is awful lighting. So that will make his face look different anyway. Lighting is a big thing that makes your face look very different. Like, for example, if I'm right up against the screen right here, my face looks kind of weird because, there's light. You know what I mean? If I go back here, my face looks a little bit different. If I then decide to get my phone and shine a torch up at my face like this, well, you can't really see it, but my face looks different again. Same way if I shine it down this way, it makes my nose look massive, right? Makes my forehead look huge. There is a difference just with lighting by itself. A difference in lighting will make a huge difference in how you look in a picture. But outside of that, obviously he's changed his hairstyle. This was certainly a choice. He does look like he's lost a small bit of weight, but it could also be because this dude, as he said, is only 19, so he might have still been going through puberty at the time of taking this picture, so obviously your face shape is going to change. There's a lot of different things that can contribute to a difference like this that aren't your own personal effort.
Look at his before photo and you can definitely see a difference. He lost weight, it looks like he put on a little muscle, he got better hair, he dresses better. Though I will give him the same criticism that I gave Victoria by saying that the way he's standing and his hand placement doesn't look that confident. But
again, with the oh my god. What is it with these guys and thinking that body language equals confidence? It's just not true. Like, you can be very confident and have body language that makes you look like you aren't. Or the other way around. You can be very not confident, very shy, whatever, and have very, very open, confident body language. Body language does not equal confidence.
even the girls here are actual glow-ups with much better fashion sense. Instead of just picking out a basic dress, you can see them using fashion principles like layering, accessorizing, and color coordination, which is way more work to
Yeah, because they are the ones that are going to be picked. They're not the ones that are picking. I would say, generally speaking, if you're going on a show and you know that you're the contestant that's going to be chosen out of a group of people, you probably dress up, you probably dress a lot more extremely than you would in your day-to-day life.
which is way more work to execute than what Victoria did. Why didn't Jubilee pick one of them to be in the other video? They were probably shot the same day and it would have been a much better fit. Anyway, let's finish this off by seeing the guy that Victoria picks.
Let's see, you said you play World of Warcraft. Are you still a big gamer today?
That's all you remember? Yeah, no, I play, I dabble. I play League.
I used to play Halo, and I've played League like a couple times in my life.
Oh, for real? Did you like it?
Yeah, I'm someone that likes going outside and like talking to other people more.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what that's like.
Stop.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Victoria.
Eli, nice to meet you.
Good comeback on the WoW comment and a good follow-up from her by crapping on video games. They actually seem to divide the most.
What? I'm sorry, all she said was, I like going outside and talking to people more than playing video games. That isn't, as he puts it, crapping on video games. That is just, saying, that's not really my thing. That's not what I do. The dude that runs this channel is a bit silly. I'm sorry.
They actually seem to divide the most, so it makes sense why she picked him. He said his phone was out of battery though when it was time to exchange numbers, which is suspicious. But look at that change. He looks so much better that he barely...
What do you mean convenient? Oh yeah, rather convenient that his phone was out of battery. That's a very common thing to happen, to have your phone battery run out. Just saying.
He looks like the same person. If there's anything in this Jubilee video you can take inspiration from, it should be how much you can improve your looks by improving your fashion and going to the gym.
And going through puberty. Pretty sure every single person that has been in this, the before picture looks like they're still going through puberty. So, you know, do that.
Understand that some of the change in these people was due to puberty, but there's still a ton you can do. I mean, even if you're a thin guy, you would be shocked at how much you can improve how you look with proper protein intake, proper sleep, and a few months at the gym.
Alright, proper sleep is a good one. That's actually really good advice. Proper sleep, not only will getting proper sleep make you look better, it will also improve your mental state, your mental health, and if you are currently going through puberty, or if you have not gone through puberty yet, or if you're, I don't know, a child, like, getting proper sleep can increase your height. So there's a good one for you. That's why I've stopped, that's why I stopped growing about an 1/8 of a centimeter away from 6 foot. The hair, I think, adds it back, but still sad. But yeah, proper sleep is important. But the thing is as well, like, you can look good without ever going to the gym. Like, I'm sure a few of those guys that he showed on screen that he was drooling over, I'm sure some of them have never been in a gym before.
You won't look like a professional bodybuilder, but it definitely makes a noticeable difference. Or you can sit here and complain that nobody wants you like this girl.
Alright, this is going well, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
The last challenge, can you take your blindfolds off? Is this the type of person you normally would date?
Honestly, no. And what did I do?
Honestly, I feel like it's because I'm heavy.
You thought he was saying he was not attracted to you?
Yeah, it's been pretty common in my experience. You talk with someone for a while, and then when they see me in person, they're like, oh, actually, I don't know if I'm feeling it.
If you feel like that keeps causing you to get rejected, then do the work to change your appearance.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be brutally honest here. I don't think it was just because she's overweight. I'm sorry. I'm not one to judge people on their looks, but this guy is, saying, well, if you lost the weight, that wouldn't have happened. But I don't know, man. People have their preferences. Apart from just weight. And as far as I remember from that video, I have watched that particular episode of The Button. And as far as I remember from that, he actually specifically said it wasn't because of her weight, But no, he cut that bit out. We don't need that bit of context.
You don't deserve better until you actually work for it. Back to the whole fat acceptance thing. I'm not a fan of how woke people always try to change the dating narrative by force-feeding people things they aren't attracted to, usually to the benefit of women. I mean, there is never a headline about a morbidly obese guy on the cover of a magazine. It's always about someone like Tess Holliday, Callie Thorpe, or Amy Schumer. Even when it's not so one-sided in terms of men versus women, I keep seeing these dating shows all the time taking people who put no effort into their health or appearance and matching them with people who clearly do. Then you get...
Has he seen half the guys that go on The Button? Has he, seen half of them? Or half the women that are on the Button? It's very mixed, It's not just fat women and skinny men. There's quite a few fat men on there. There's quite a few. There was actually a couple of women that I've seen before on the show who regularly go to the gym and lift weights. Gym bros. Has he just not watched this show?
These woke TikToks saying that I should be forced to be attracted to something that I'm not attracted to. Oh, and meanwhile, they say that conversion therapy is wrong.
No. That's not... You see, he's misunderstanding... Oh, my camera just went way out of focus. He's misunderstanding, I think, what the TikTok was trying to say. The TikTok is saying that, you can't just say you're not attracted to someone because they're fat. Which, I don't know, I personally think is a little bit too far. I think you can choose not to be attracted to someone. Or not choose, because you can't choose who you're attracted to. But you can not be attracted to someone because of their body weight. But at the same time, you can't then just turn around and say, all fat people are unattractive, because you're just making a really strange generalization, because I can guarantee you there are some like fairly attractive overweight people. You know what I mean? It's a bit silly, to say that. Well, I'm not attracted to fat people, sorry. It's a bit strange to say that. So yeah, no one is forcing you to be attracted to fat people. That's not what's happening. Sorry to break it to you, my guy, but no one is forcing anyone to be attracted to something.
Where is the moral consistency? But it's not just a matter of, hey, look, a double standard. There's actually a consequence to not being morally consistent. It means you haven't absorbed an idea that I believe is referred to as generalization. Generalization, or generalized principles, means you can take something from one place and apply it to a situation that's different but similar.
He's explaining the term I just used back to me. That is crazy. Alright, let's hear it.
So if conversion therapy is wrong with LGBT people, then it's also wrong to shame people for not liking your body type. Where this idea goes deeper and becomes really important is when you start generalizing principles based on past experiences to help you learn. One of the fastest ways to learn is to take something you already know and apply it to new information. For example, in the case of exercise, if you take yoga and you're already good at chair pose, you might notice that a lot of the same postural concepts are repeated in a back squat for weightlifting. So instead of learning 10 different postural modifications, now you only have to learn 3. Those aren't exact numbers, but do you see how much of an advantage that can be? When people learn faster than you and pick up ideas quickly, a lot of times it's not because they're more intelligent. They just have better learning strategies.
What the fuck is he talking about? What is he talking about? How is this related at all? He's doing the Jordan Peterson thing. This isn't related to what he was talking about in the least bit at all. What the fuck?
If you don't have the idea that one thing in one situation can apply to something somewhere else, and instead think that everything is a perfectly unique situation, then you're working extremely inefficiently. This is also what makes people more successful in their careers. A good worker or a good member of a team says, hey, it worked really well when we did it this way last time. I see a situation that is similar over there.
Hold on. Is he saying the generalization is good?
Based on past experiences, let's see if the same thing works in a different situation. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's unconscious bias, and thinking in generalized principles that are efficient makes you a deeply prejudiced...
He's saying it's good. He's saying generalization is good. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting that. I should have been. I should have been expecting that. That's crazy. What? Oh no.
Bad person. Do you see how all this woke ideology just makes everyone weak and useless? That's why I don't like it, and the sooner we forget these ideas, the better things will get. Anyway, thanks for watching, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
That is crazy. That is insane. He actually ended the video by saying generalization is good. That is insane.
Yeah. Hip hop and jazz. Yeah. Hip hop and jazz.
Okay, and that's it. That's the whole video about Think Before You Sleep. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly didn't. That should do it, I think, for this video. I think we've... Jesus Christ. I think we've covered everything we need to cover. All my sources should be in the description below. There'll also be some cool, awesome links down there for you to click on for some other videos related to this guy from fellow creators. There will also be a pinned comment with a few links in it, probably, I don't know, and a funny message. I don't really know. We'll see what future me decides to do. It would mean a lot if you could subscribe to the channel. Obviously, I'm quite a small creator, and it really does help out everyone here, and it would really mean a lot. And if you could also give the video a thumbs up, and even if you... Why is my camera freaking out, bro? Why are you freaking out? If you agree with me, or disagree with me, or have any questions, or anything at all, just leave them in the comments below. I'll try and get to everything. I read every comment. Trust me, I read every comment on my videos. If they don't add anything to the conversation, I'll usually delete them. Because if you're just coming to my comment section to insult me, you're not achieving anything. I will just delete your comment because it's not adding to the conversation at all. If you have any genuine criticisms or constructive comments or questions, or maybe you want to make a point and we can start a nice internet debate in the comments, please do that. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Leave some comments down below. Do it, guys. Yeah. Ooh. This video wasn't half as funny as I wanted it to be. Oh man, that's a bummer. Alright, thank you guys again for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And in the meantime, click on this one. Click it now. Yeah, that's right. If you're still here, why haven't you clicked it yet? Go click it.
Musicians created compositions for all ears to listen. I think of all the legends of jazz that passed, and know that heaven got one hell of a band. Yeah.